Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm 18 years old and I'm from County Limerick. I'm here at Holy Family as a first year and I'm absolutely loving it all so far. Thank you for giving your time to listen to my personal journey with God. A bit of my background: I was born and raised in a practicing Catholic family. There are 12 of us all together, and yes, Christmas was loud. My parents took us to Mass every Sunday, and on holy days, we always prayed in the evening together, and recently we've started to pray together in the morning as well, as a family. So in my family, faith was always important. There was always an element of it in every day, be it the Grace Before Meals, or the Angelus, or the evening rosary. I grew familiar with it all quickly, and it became the norm. But during my school years, I soon learned that it wasn't normal at all. In fact, I saw from other students that faith was something traditional, and particularly for old grannies. If a student was seen blessing themselves on the school bus as we passed a church, my goodness, they'd be the talk of the schoolyard for days. So I learned that the best way to fit in and still listen to what my parents taught would be to speak to God in my head and never mention the name of Jesus out loud. You know, when young children speak of a friend that they like to talk to, that's, it's just imaginary. Jesus was kind of like that for me. I knew he did actually exist, but I treated him like an imaginary friend. I would always speak to him of my problems. I would tell him of all the guys I fancied and begged him to let me marry. He would always be the one to hear about my sadness or, problems at school or at home, and the rejection I felt at school for being the weird one. Jesus was always my go-to person when I wanted to talk, but I never expected anything from him. I didn't know that his love is unconditional. I considered it all to be sort of one way, that I tell him about everything and I receive nothing. And I think because I only spoke to him about everything, I soon started to believe that my voice didn't really matter. I felt I had no reason to talk to anyone else about anything. So in secondary school, I started to develop a very different personality. Rather than speaking my mind and not caring about what people thought, which is what I would have done always as a child, I sort of closed in on myself and just listened to what went on around me. Many problems came up because of this. In school, I would hear the girls speaking about things like alcohol, sex, and drugs, and because I thought my voice didn't matter, I didn't try to understand and was easily persuaded to believe everything they said. I struggled immensely through secondary school with purity. I was constantly surrounded by impure conversations, and since I had nowhere to go, they just stuck with me. I saw and heard things that ruined my perception of guys, and I found it really hard to be around them because of it. I often went to Youth 2000 and some other small retreats where I began to learn the truth. All the worldly pleasures which I was being offered in school were completely empty compared to what I had in Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and only he can satisfy the desires of my heart. I'm actually so grateful, though, that God brought me along the path that he did, because now I can be sincerely grateful for everything he's done to bring me back to a pure life. And actually, I'm noticing now more frequently the extent God went to save me. Over the summer, I spent 5 weeks in the mother house of the Servant Sisters of the Home of the Mother in Santander in Spain. While I was there, I learned to come out of hiding and have confidence in Jesus with my words. I realized that my words mattered, and that just because certain people were older than me, that didn't mean they were always right. It is through Jesus that I have a voice, and only through him that I could leave a life of impurity behind. While I was in Spain, I was given 2 options. One was to stay there with the sisters for a year of discernment and formation, and another was to come to Holy Family Mission, which I had heard about at Youth 2000 and through my sisters. They had done it as well. I didn't initially have a preference, but after spending time in prayer and talking to both Father Raphael, the founder, and Father Patrick, I realized that God was calling me to spend a year here. I applied and had the interview and was accepted, thankfully. I wanted to develop my relationship with Jesus, and already I'm seeing a change. I notice now how intricately involved he is in every day of my life, always loving and seeking my happiness. There wasn't ever a major conversion moment in my life. There wasn't ever like a sudden change. There wasn't ever anything that suddenly caused me to change drastically. But rather I grew and developed in small steps, with Jesus always a step ahead, ready to support me when I fell, and I fell many times. Thank you so much for listening to my testimony and for all your support of Holy Family Mission. God bless.